Okay, guys, I thought I'd put out an end of the day video, end of the week video, and a subscriber asked for it, and so yeah, I thought why not? We'll go ahead and cover it. So here's the thing. All right, the market rallied into the close on a Friday, and typically this is how I view end of the week, end of the day on a Friday moves, breakdowns, or breakouts. I throw those out. So anytime if anyone's familiar with plotting dot charts, dot plotting, you take the average of the dots and you throw out the outliers, the highs and the lows, and that gives you kind of the mean. And that's what basically Friday, end of the day Friday breakdowns or rallies are to me. They are thrown out. The reason why I do that is the fact that, one, institutional money is not taking up big major positions on a Friday, on the last hour of a Friday month end. All right, so maybe you have some position squaring month end, but ultimately institutions aren't taking up huge positions. They wait all week, and then on a Friday at the last hour they take up huge positions. They're just not doing it, and that's relevant. The reason why I can prove that that's true is you look at the volume here on the SPY, and look, we don't have any kind of breakout volume. This is a daily chart that I'm showing you. There's no breakout volume here on the SPY. We have, pretty average volume ultimately for what we've seen on this entire sideways grind we've been in for over 2 months. So that's, it's slightly higher, but not much. So that's how I prove that. All right. It's not, you don't have big breakout volume. Another thing that I want to point out is today was basically a lot of people like to just put on their blinders and look at the tech stocks. The reason why I think a lot of people seem to think that the market is very, very strong is because a lot of people own these FANG stocks. Apple, Microsoft. It's a really crowded trade. I mean, everybody owns them. And so when they see those go up and they see their portfolio going up because of those stocks, then they think everything's going up and the market's always going up. And, the reality is that I see it from a little bit of a different picture because I try to look below the surface of just, the heavily weighted FANG stocks to try to figure out, okay, is there real strength in the market, or is it hidden, or is the weakness hidden and masked by the weighting that these FANG stocks carry within the indice? So if you look here, ultimately the SPY, closed basically, at kind of the high range of where it's been at over the last, 2 months, but still within the range. There's nothing here that is crazy, bullish. I certainly wouldn't take up a big position going into the close on a Friday thinking, okay, this was huge. And if you look, and I want to point a couple things out. If you look at the triple Qs closed up 1.78% for the day. But if you look at the equal weighted Qs, which has every single stock at an equal weighting, it closed up 0.10%. All right. So without the weighting that the Qs gives to the FANG stocks ultimately, then that just shows the breadth. All right. This shows breadth of market. That's how you can really separate the weighting, the FANG stocks, from the rest of the market and look for breadth. And the rest of the tech sector, besides the FANG stocks, didn't do anything today. They were basically flat. And then you had 3 stocks basically rallying. So today's rally, ultimately, when you look at the S&P 500, you had 3 stocks out of 500 that were, rallying really strongly. And that's what's responsible for the market moving slightly higher today. Ultimately, is that strength when you have 3 stocks out of 500? I see that as weakness. I see that as deteriorating market breadth. And that's what I try to look for is underneath the surface, is the market actually weak and it's just being hidden by 3 stocks and their market weighting. That's what I see here in this market weighting QQQE. So again, up 10% for the equal weighted technology stocks. Market the heavily market weighted FANG stocks up 1.878%. So everything was rallying based on Facebook, Apple, and Amazon essentially. That's it. All right, the other thing I want to point out is we've got a doji. Now, this doesn't have to be a reversal, but it could be. Look here on the Qs, and if I hide my trend lines, you can see Dragonfly Doji right there. You can see it on the Qs and you can see it on the SPY right there. Dragonfly Doji, big long tail. Now, if this Dragonfly Doji was coming at the bottom of a downtrend, then it could be a potential reversal to the upside. But it's coming at the top of an uptrend, which could signal a potential reversal coming. And I want to point it, here is the Investopedia definition of Dragonfly Doji. Now, a Dragonfly Doji can occur after a price rise or a price decline. All right, so we've had a price rise, we got a big doji, and ultimately it just says that it creates a T shape. All right, and that's exactly what we have. There's your T shape right there. In the Qs, it literally looks just like a T. And basically, this is a Dragonfly Doji after a price. Let's see here. The Prince of Dragonfly Doji after a price advance warns of a potential decline. A move lower on the next candle provides confirmation. All right, so that's just the setup. All right, doesn't mean we don't have confirmation, but there's the doji. There's the potential reversal. If you get selling next week, Monday basically, or Monday or Tuesday, then that would be your confirmation. So potential setup doesn't mean it's going to play out, but it's there. There's your Dragonfly Doji, and we'll look for confirmation. If confirmation doesn't show up, then this doji didn't mean anything. Another thing to look out for, this whole rally in the S&P 500, I think for the most part has been due to the decline of the dollar. And I want to show you what I mean here. If you look at the daily chart, or actually let's look at the month. All right, here's the month, and here's what happened in the dollar over this month. So everybody's purchasing power, they lost. Whoever earns in dollars, which is anybody in America, I guess, lost about 4% in purchasing power in the dollar. Let's go to the S&P 500 and see how it performed during the month. The S&P 500 was up 5.83%. So 4% loss in the value of the dollar. Stocks are priced in dollars. Stocks went up 5.83% for the month. So yeah, that's something to look at. A lot of this decline was in the dollar. Now, let's look at what happened today. Bullish engulfing candle here on the daily. And this is a bullish reversal pattern. And now you look for confirmation. So if the dollar is up, on Monday, then that is a potential reversal of the decline in the dollar, and the dollar gaining strength probably signals stocks weakness. So just saying that, there you go, things to look at. Finally, I want to point out Apple, since Apple was kind of the star of the show today, up 10.5%. Very, very strong day, obviously, for Apple, and it looked strong all day. Ultimately, it was It recovered support and could have closed below, but it actually just continued to ramp higher all day. Could have been a buying climax here. Now, see the volume in Apple? This is either a melt up or a vertical move higher. We're going to get just some sort of blow off top in Apple, or maybe today was the buying climax and we'll see a reversal next week. You see the volume right here. This kind of volume, if you go back and look at the volume, when you get these kinds of moves, here's a move where we had huge volume in Apple, but this was after a down move. So yeah, if you have a big move down and you see big volume and you get a rally basically, then that makes sense. But let's look for high volume on up moves like what we had today. And basically you can see that, this kind of volume, here it is right here. Here's some high, relatively high volume on a move. Let me zoom in just to show you. right there. This was relatively high volume, big move up. Kind of looks exactly like today. Had a doji in place, shooting star doji right there. That was at the top of the move. And Apple was, after that happened, Apple sold off, 17, 20%. All right, let's look for more topping volume. You can see here, this is a big, relatively big move. And right here, Apple sold off a little bit, still had more to go there. So, I mean, the point is that the volume today might have been a blow off top. Maybe not. We don't know. There might be a lot more to go. I don't see weakness in Apple yet today. So I can't say that Apple's closing out the week bearish. I mean, that's clearly not the fact. We'll need more information next week. So let's wait till next week. Next week will be very telling. Does the market decide to go higher or lower? Lower, would mean that it's profit taking time in the fangs, and I mean, I know if I owned Apple, I would definitely be taking profit, but next week will be very telling. So let's wait for that. And that's all I got, guys. Until then, we'll catch you guys on the next one.